everyone, my name is Melissa Strange and welcome to another episode of For the Love of Drag. I'm gonna start by saying I'm sick as a dog and I'm trying to fight this illness right now. I don't know if it's a cold or a flu or what, but I can't breathe through my nose at all, so I'm sorry that I sound this way. But tonight was Snatch Game on RuPaul's Drag Race. That's right, tonight we are talking about RuPaul's Drag Race Season 8, Episode number 5. Snatch Game is always my favorite episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. If you're watching this video, I'm sure you know what Snatch Game is, but if you don't, Snatch Game is when all the girls on RuPaul's Drag Race dress up as celebrities and answer questions like, Dumb Dee Dee is so dumb that she brushes her teeth with blank, and then they fill in the blank. So that was tonight. The episode actually starts off with the girls coming in after the main stage elimination where Naysha goes home again, and Bob and Derek are kind of like butting heads at each other because Derek feels that Bob kind of picks on her, but then when Derek throws shade at Bob, Bob is supposed to just take it, and when Bob throws shade back at Derek, she can't take it, but she says she can, and blah blah blah. So it's just, they're just arguing. So Ru announces that it's Snatch Game, and all the girls are super excited because Ru starts off by saying like they're gonna be doing like Roadkill Couture, and then they're all like, what is going on? And then she's like, I'm just kidding, we're gonna do the Snatch Game, Snatch Game, Snatch Game, Snatch Game, hooray! So also I was gonna dress up to do this episode. I was either gonna do something funny like Elmo or do Kristen Stewart. I'm not kidding when I say I feel like a bucket of angry crawfish. That's how I feel right now. A bucket of angry crawfish is living inside of this region, and thanks to makeup I'm covering how red my face actually is. Maybe next time. So the girls are discussing who they're gonna do for Snatch Game. You have Bob, who has 101 ideas, then you have some of the girls that have one idea, like well Naomi Smalls like, I think I'm gonna do Whoopi Goldberg, and then Bob's like, I was gonna do Whoopi and I have this, and then Bob starts doing her Whoopi and it's really good and it intimidates Naomi, so then she's like, okay, maybe I'll change who I'm gonna be. So when Ru walks through the workroom to talk to the girls, Chi-Chi says she's gonna do Eartha Kitt because she plays Catwoman, and also because Chi-Chi has 2 cats at home. And apparently there's a connection there. And then you have Kim Chi, who's debating between doing Pearl, who was on last season of RuPaul's Drag Race, who is actually Kim Chi's like drag sister. They do drag together and they started together. Or she's thinking about doing a made-up character, Kimmy Jong-un, which is Kim Jong-un's like drag person, I guess, or something, or her sister, his sister, I'm very confused by all of that. Derek tells Ru that she's thinking of not doing Britney and thinking of doing somebody else, and then Ru's like, listen, do what you're good at. If you live and you pay your bills by doing Britney Spears and you're doing a celebrity impersonation competition, why wouldn't you do Britney Spears? And Thorgy tells Ru that she's thinking about doing Michael Jackson, and then Ru asks her who she thinks her biggest competition is going to be in this game, and she says Bob. And if you look back at what's happened so far, anytime Bob's done good, Thorgy has as well, but Bob kind of overpowers and overshadows her or whatever and wins. So it's been this like constant battle of like the Bob and Thorgy thing happening where they both do really good, but then Bob does like this tiny bit better, and you can tell that that's kind of like growing underneath Thorgy's skin, and she's like, man, I just want to beat Bob. And I do agree that Bob's probably her biggest competition. So far this season, I feel like Thorgy and Bob could both just go into the top 3. I don't know who else I would say that they should go there with at this exact second. But those are the 2 that I'm like, they have a really good shot at winning this. Maybe Kim Chi as well. No, I don't know. I think Kim Chi is gonna go home soon. I don't know. Let's keep talking. Let me know in the comments down below what you think so far. So for the Snatch Game, the celebrity guests who are going to be playing are Chanel Iman and Gigi Hadid. And then I'm gonna just quickly tell you what all the girls did. So you had Thorgy Thor doing Michael Jackson, Kim G doing Kimmy Jong-un, Acid Betty doing Nancy Grace, Robbie Turner did Diana Vreeland, Naomi Smalls did New York Tiffany Pollard, Chi-Chi did Eartha Kitt, Derek Barry did Britney Spears, Bob the Drag Queen did Uzo Aduba or Crazy Eyes from Orange is the New Black. You have to watch Snatch Game, okay? You have to watch this episode. I don't want to sit here and tell you everything that happened, but I'll tell you that Acid Betty was a snore. I'll tell you that Bob was a hoot. I'll tell you that Kim Chi pretty much didn't say anything. She just did this the whole time. Or something like that. Thorgy was really funny. Michael Jackson is a male. right? All the other queens did females, and in the past, the only other male that was done was Little Richard, and when last season, Kenny Davenport did Little Richard, and Ru was like, I don't know if you want to do a male, like it's the Snatch Game. And this year there was no comment on Thorgy doing a male character for Snatch Game, which was, I thought was actually kind of surprising. I thought that she was going to get read by some of the queens for doing a male instead of a female, but they didn't, and she was really funny. Then during Snatch Game, Bob switches it up and does Carol Chaney halfway through. Switches her character. She's no longer Crazy Eyes, now she's Carol Chaney. Still hilarious, and I feel like she was one of the only queens. I think Derek Barry actually did pretty good. She went with doing Britney Spears. She did pretty good. A lot of the queens didn't interact with each other as their characters, which is kind of one of my favorite parts of it, is when they do interact with each other as their celebrity characters. Bob was pretty much the only one who was like going for it near the end, but I felt like they didn't actually show much of Bob in it, which I thought they were going to show more of her, but they didn't. Naomi Smalls was also very boring, didn't really make sense with what her character was doing. Robbie Turner was disappointing. I think I already said Acid Betty was boring. Who else sucked? I think everybody else did pretty good though. It's Elimination Day, and tonight's runway is Night of 100 Madonnas, or was it 1,000 Madonnas? I don't know. It was Be Madonna, and I'm like, Michelle Visage this is literally for her. Like, Ru made this episode happen for Michelle. Michelle's a huge Madonna fan, and if you knew anything about Michelle Visage, you would know that. And in the workroom, we kind of get to learn a little bit about some of the queens. We find out that Acid Betty really does feel left out in New York, and that like none of the queens in New York actually want to work with her, and they call her like a look queen, not a drag queen, and she's hoping the show can help her showcase things more. Thor, also from New York, agrees with her and says like, look, I'm a classical musician. I play the violin, the viola, the cello. I think that's what it was. Going off memory here. And she's like, you know, I want to have my Thorgy and the Thorgestra or something like this. She has a pretty funny name for it. The Thorgy Thorchestra. What was it? I should have wrote that down. And if Thorgy had an orchestra, I'd probably go and see it if it ever came to my city. And then Bob and Naomi are talking about having siblings, and Bob's like, I have 2 brothers. And Naomi's like, I have 8 brothers and 3 sisters. And then Bob's like, oh yeah, you're adopted. And she's like, yeah, we're like a rainbow family. She's like, my parents are white, but like, I guess they showed a picture and there was like a broad scale of different race children, which is amazing. And I'm so happy for her family for doing something like that. There needs to be more people like that in the world, that's for sure. So during the main stage, I have one thing to say. Kimono. The first 4 looks were all kimonos. You can see Michelle is not impressed, Ru is not impressed, Carson Kressley's not impressed, Gigi Hadid is not impressed, Chanel Iman is not impressed. Everyone is like, if you saw your competitors all putting on kimonos, you don't think that with all of the fabric and the things you brought, you don't have any other options? You didn't bring a second look, or maybe could make something? Because you all kind of look the same, and it didn't stand. You all don't stand out. You stand out for the wrong reasons. You stand out because you all look the same. You need to stand out because you look different. The critique was pretty harsh tonight, with the judges saying that a lot of the queens weren't very funny, or weren't dressed right, or didn't stay in character, or kind of like were boring. It was a really good critique. Bob the Drag Queen ends up winning the competition, but Ru also, like, so before Ru announces that she has Thorgy and Bob, and she's like going back and forth between the two, saying like what's good about them, and then she goes, but Bob, you're the winner. And you could just see the anger on Thorgy's face. But like the thing is, with Bob winning, it's almost pushing Thorgy even more to try harder. I feel like that's what's going on. I hope it's not bringing her down. It really does feel like it's like lifting her up a bit, because she's like, man, like I just want to beat Bob. I want to win this. I can prove myself. So I feel for you, girl. I think you could do it, but I do like Bob too, so this was a good episode. And the bottom 2 is actually Acid Betty and Naomi Smalls. And let me tell you, I knew right away who was going home before the lip sync, because when they announce like you're in the bottom, they'll do a clip of like after they're out of drag and they're talking about like in like the diary room or whatever it's called. They're talking about what's going on, and Acid Betty's like, I'm in the bottom 2. I don't even like Snatch Game. Like, just the way she acted, I was like, she went home. You could just tell. Usually they don't show the girl's face, they just have the voice and they show the girl on stage like looking all sad. I could tell at least right away that's who was going home. Then the lip sync happened and I wasn't surprised. Acid Betty got sent home. Naomi Smalls gets to stay. I'm not mad about it. I did think Acid Betty was gonna do a little bit better in my predictions video, which I've linked up in my info box here. I really did think that she was going to make it farther in the competition, but as the competition has gone on, I've kind of not liked her as much as I thought I was gonna like her. So I like to end these videos with finding something around my house that best represents the queen that went home tonight. So Acid Betty, today I have chosen this bottle of Windex, mainly because your performance tonight on Snatch Game made me want to kill myself, and this is probably the cleanest way to go. Thank you for watching this video, you guys. If you like RuPaul's Drag Race or you like the Snatch Game, hit the like button down below and leave me a comment down below letting me know if you were doing the Snatch Game, what character would you dress up as? Like I said, I would probably do Kristen Stewart or Elmo. If you do want to see more of my reviews, I post them every Tuesday following an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. You just have to hit the subscribe button, that way you don't miss one of my episodes. It's just that simple. Once again, my name is Melissa Strange, and until next time, stay strange.